All right, so we're going to be changing the valve on this washer. We're having a problem with the cold side. So we did do a temporary fix where we allow the washer to wash on the hot valve because the valve was working. So we basically put cold going to the hot. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. So, but you can still use the machine and then just put it to rinse and spin and you're okay. It's a temporary fix. So we're gonna do the valve change today and I wanna walk you through that. Also, I'm gonna show you a cheaper way to do this instead of the entire assembly, all right? So we're gonna connect it to cold to show you that cold is not working, and then we're gonna do before and after. All right, so in actuality, hot is cold. So if we turn it on cold right now, in theory, we should not get anything. So let's take a look. Water's off, let's turn it back on. Normal, we're gonna warm, we're gonna do tap cold. Hit start. Now, if we put it to hot, all right, so let's get it fixed. All right, so now we're in the back here. You're gonna have a total of 5 screws. You're gonna remove those, and with this one, 6 comes out. Don't forget that one in the center. Okay, so now we gotta take this top off. And then you want to pull the console towards you. Make sure you unplug, by the way. Now here's a pick, and this is another way of removing this top. A lot easier than the putty knife, but just another option. Here we go. What's up? So this valve assembly is a lot cheaper. Now, given the circumstances, if it's just a clog setup, you can just remove them as we're going to be doing. And you just remove the solenoid portion. Now be careful if you're doing this repair. The end of the solenoids do have a little cap. So be mindful of that when you remove them. So when you put them back on, you need to install the little cap. I was just doing demonstration, just letting you know that there's another option if you need to change your valves. Now, The only drawback is if your valve assembly, meaning the portion where the hose connects to and the water goes in, if that portion is clogged up, then you might have to replace the entire assembly. If you're in well water, chances are you need to replace the entire assembly. Now, when those valves go bad, the solenoid portion, they get a crack. It's a hairline crack in them, and it does not allow enough voltage to go to open the solenoid, so you get a low water flow. Now, I was showing this. It's a two-part repair. We did replace the entire assembly. That assembly, I think, was $80 something versus you could just buy the same Whirlpool assembly, which is way cheaper, and you just change the solenoid ends. You do not have to change the entire assembly, meaning the tray, where it holds the tray and everybody, you don't have to. That's like $114 or $120. So you just change the valve assembly. If you're in city water and your valve assembly is still good, then you can just change the solenoid portion and you should be fine. But if you want to be on the safe side, just change the entire 2/4 inch screws, as you'll see, and then replace it. Now, you want to be mindful when you replace the solenoid. Again, it does have a small cap, and you do need to put it back on. If not, it will actually vibrate off. Now, you won't have a leak, but you will not have water flowing. That's the difference. And if you do happen to lose the cap, you can actually use zip ties to secure the valve assembly so it does not, vibrate off. Or maybe you could use some kind of sealant or some sort of anything to keep it from falling off. Next option, guys, would be this. Okay. If everything else is good, you just change this. Sometimes these have restriction. This might be working, but this isn't. You can clean them out, soak them, and a lot of times they're good. In fact, that's missing. Not supposed to be like that. As you can see, the other valve, the old assembly, the screen was removed and probably had a lot of junk built up in it. So I will have a video actually dismantling them and cleaning them. They can be saved, but they do require some effort. You do have to unscrew, and pretty straightforward actually. Alright, we're going to be wrapping this thing up, putting everything back together. Just make sure that you double check all your connections and secure your back. Make sure you get your hot on hot, cold on cold, and getting ready to check this machine, make sure everything's working.